Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about values, especially about my values. And while I think values are super personal and everybody has to find and define their values for themselves, today I want to share my values just to give you a bit of an understanding what I mean by this term, and because I also talk about values in a lot of my videos. Because I talk about values in a way that minimalism, sustainability, and life choices I do come down to living by my values, living aligned with the idea I have of a world that I want to see around me. I think values are most of the time just there. We have a feeling of what's right and what's wrong. We have a feeling of what we want to do. We have a feeling of what we deserve, of how the world should look. But during the past few weeks, I really tried to think more about my values and tried to put them into words. I don't think that is absolutely necessary or anything, but I thought it would be helpful to me and maybe to you as well to try to really define these values. Now, these are fluid. I don't think they will sound the exact same if you ask me a year from now, and I think that's totally okay. And also maybe I forget something that I totally feel is very important, but that I just forget to mention in this video today. Before I actually tell you my values, I want to briefly explain how I ordered them. I am going to talk about three main categories of values, like the immediate values I have for myself and I have for the person of me and that I think should be possible for every person on the planet. Then the values I have for groups of people, for me interacting with other people, how I want to interact with you here and other people in my life. And then the values I have for our global society, like the bigger picture. So the first value I'm going to talk about now is really what I want for myself and what I think should be possible for everybody. And I think everybody, including myself, deserves to be happy. I think I want to take this apart in a few different categories just to make it easier to understand what I mean by that. By living a happy life, being happy, I mean living a life with purpose, being healthy, not having any problems when it comes to money, when it comes to housing, when it comes to just things you need to survive. Being able to be yourself and being able to be authentic and honest with other people. Now, being happy, I think, is mostly a result of all of these areas. If you manage to be healthy, if you manage to be yourself, if you manage to be able to be honest and authentic with the world around you, if you manage to not have any of these problems, then I think you are happy. And by happy, I mean more like content. I mean being okay and being in peace and in balance with the way your life is at the moment. And for all of these things, half of these things have to do with myself and getting to know myself better. And the other half of these things is kind of dependent on the people and the society around me. Now, I of course try to be healthy by moving my body, by eating good foods, by trying to be honest to myself and allowing myself to rest, allowing myself to do things that bring me joy. For example, also using minimalism to avoid distractions and just get rid of everything that does not serve in my life. And that is really a huge part that minimalism, and on this channel minimalism has a huge part, and that is mainly what I do with minimalism. I try to make it possible for me to live a more happy life, a more fulfilled and content life. But the other things like health, I think, is both already. I can do things that make my health better, but there are also factors that I cannot influence. It's the healthcare system I'm born into. It's the healthcare I have because of my maybe financial background or things like that. It's just the condition my mental and physical health is in. And it's also the possibility to take care of myself. Not everybody has the same amount of time or money to work out, buy healthy foods and things like that. Being myself is really also both of these things. And I think I deserve to be myself and I should be allowed to be myself and I should allow myself to be myself. And with that, it really helps to getting to know myself better, to actually realize what it is that I want to be, to then be able to actually be that person I want to be. But the other side of it is that society has to allow myself to be myself. Now I am in a position where that is not so hard. I am, of course, maybe a bit different from other people, but I'm not so far out there that a lot of people in society would have anything against me being like I am. Now, of course, I get some comments where people think I'm stupid, I do it wrong, I should do things differently. So I think it is super important that we allow people to live their gender, live their sexuality, live their ethnicity, religion, everything. Like, I want everybody to be who they are. I want everybody to be able to actually live their life, to actually live who they are, and have the energy and resources to get to know themselves, to actually, be who they want to be. Of course, in the moderation and with the borders of as long as you do not hurt anybody else by being yourself. And so my first value really comes down to trying to be myself, trying to figure out and learn as much as possible about myself, to realize who I want to be, and then being authentic and honest with the world around me in order to achieve a fulfilling life that I want to live. And I also try to do my best to make that possible for everybody else as well. And then we move on to the second value, the second group of values. And these are the values I have when it comes to communication, when it comes to living with other people, being interacting with other people, you here on YouTube, and also the people in my offline life. And here, my biggest value, or the most important thing, is that I want to be able to be learning. I want to learn about what experiences you make, what experiences other people make. I want to be aware that my perception, what I see, what I think of this world, is only my experience. I only know what I have experienced. I only know how the world looks from my perspective. Being a woman, being a white person, living in a privileged country, being safe and having enough money to survive, being a mom, being healthy, and things like that. So I only know my perspective. But I think it is super important that we learn about other perspectives, that we learn how other people feel about other things that I maybe don't think about, things that I have a totally different opinion on. And I think it's very important, and it's very interesting to just learn about how other people see this world as well. And I think it's crucial to finding a solution that, for my first value of making it possible for everybody to be happy, it is crucial to learn how other people feel, to learn what other people want, and what the perspectives and problems and possibilities are that other people have. I really want to commit to learning. I really want to commit to listening and understanding how other perspectives work and how other people see this world. And then moving on to my third value, my third group of value, where there are really my ideas of how I want this world to be. Whenever I talk in my videos about I want to work towards a better world, I want to work towards a world where everybody has equal chances to be successful and happy, then that is really what I mean, what I'm gonna explain right now. I want us to live in a sustainable way, and I really believe that none of us really deserves to be happy if it is because we exploit other people or our planet. So I think our right of satisfaction, our right of consuming, our right of being happy and fulfilled really stops whenever other people are treated badly, whenever the environment is suffering, whenever we exploit some part of this planet. And so I think it is really important to know that we have a certain responsibility. And again, if I say we, I just mean I want to live this way. I believe that would be helpful for the planet, but again, that is only my perspective. So be sure to leave me your values or your idea of this whole subject in the comments down below. And I think that is very, very complicated. And that is something I really struggle with a lot of times, because living in Germany, a lot of things that I do have a really bad impact on the environment. The amount of carbon that I could use up in a year, I actually only have like a third of that, because 2/3 are already taken away by living in Germany. And so whenever I buy something that is wrapped in plastic, because it's really not possible here, at least for me, to only shop plastic free. That has a negative impact on the environment. Whenever I buy something where there is no real sustainable option, that has a negative impact on people that manufacture it, on the environment, because it's maybe polluting, or it takes important resources that are not restored. And so I think this like third group of values is really, really hard, because I feel this immense responsibility, but I have to balance it with what is possible for me and my happiness. And while I don't want to put my happiness on top or over somebody else's existence and happiness, a lot of times I feel like that is happening, even with me trying to avoid it. I think I'm in a privileged position here still, because it is possible for me to buy fashion secondhand and fair and sustainable. It is possible for me to buy most of our things secondhand, like furniture. It is possible for me to buy most of our foods in organic quality, and a lot of them plastic free. It is possible for me to have a almost zero waste bathroom. It is possible for me to do a lot of these things, but I completely understand if there are people watching this right now, and I know that there are a lot of people that are where for them it's not possible to do these things out of different reasons, because you don't have the stores, you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, and all of that is okay. Like, you have to protect your health. You have to protect a certain amount of your happiness and well-being before you can actually take more action and make more of an effort to actually live so sustainably and ethically. So these are mainly my 3 categories of values. I believe everybody deserves to be happy and deserves to be themselves. I believe that we should learn from each other and listen to each other to gain more knowledge about the different perspectives people have on this planet and the different life experiences they have. And I also believe that we should not put our happiness over somebody else's happiness, or over somebody else's possibility to be successful, happy, and make a living wage, or just live a decent life. And I think all of us have a certain responsibility, and the more privilege, the more money and the more resources you have, the bigger your responsibility is, because the more you could actually do. But again, I think it is super important to not like burn out in a way, and that sometimes is almost happening to me, that I try to do so much that I feel that my responsibility is so high to act in a sustainable and ethical way all the time, that I just realize, okay, it's too much. I cannot. It really drains my energy. I can't do more of that. I have to like take a step back and protect myself here as well. But that balance is something that I'm really working on and that I'm hoping to figure out better in the future. And now I would be really interested in your values, if you are willing to share them down below in the comments. And yeah, let me know what you think about videos like that. Let me know in what you would be interested in as well. And I hope you like this video. If you want to see more videos, I'll link you a video and a playlist right here. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!